only on 91.5 FM, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida.
DJ Wired, WPRK 91.5. So we do it every Saturday night, Wired Radio, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. DJ MUMS, DJ Wired. Special guest today, you know what I'm saying, world famous Dane and his son, young Dane. Special guest on Wired Radio. What's going on, guys?
Everything's good, man. Everything is cool, man. Dane here.
Dane, you started off in in high school rapping, right? You went to school with Slick Rick, right?
Yeah. It was actually 5 of us. We were called the Kango Crew. It was Slick Rick, Lance Brown, Kulowski, and Omega the Heartbreaker, and myself. It was, most of the cats were singers or musicians, and me and Rick were art students, actually, that went to music and art, okay. And rap was coming up at that time. It was 1980.
Okay, so it's just really good timing?
Oh, yeah, definitely it's really good timing because, when I got there, when I got to music and art high school, I didn't know how to rap, but I was mimicking, what was going on in the streets because hip-hop was relatively young. It was only about 7 years in 1972, around that time, to 1979. So I was basically, you go inside through the front, and you do the bump. So we was just, mimicking, the mixtapes, the cassette tapes that they had out at the time. They had the Crash Crew tapes, and they had the Furious 5 tapes, and the Cold Crush tapes, and things of that sort. So, and it basically, by the time 1980, the only record that had came out at the time was the Fatback Band and Rapper's Delight.
So you're not actually English, right? You just kind of do that for performance style?
Yeah, right? The story is that, everybody always say that, always ask how that came about. Well, the true story of it is that Slick Rick, Lance Brown, and Omega Heartbreaker from the Kango Crew were of West Indian descent, and Rick was of London British descent, so it was like they were all from like West Indian to like British descent type thing, and they had an accent already. But as you know, as hip hop was young, cats didn't want to sound like they weren't from the United States. They wanted to sound more American. So at the time, they were, fixing their voices more to sound more like, the Cold Crush and the Crash Crew and, just American-style rappers. And I told them, that the accent was dope. That's what y'all should be using. And, I just formulated my sound as us working together and writing raps together and just coming up and being around each other every day. And it just became second nature for me just to sound like that because they wanted to sound more American, and I thought that sound was the best sound. And it was like a little mixture of both of those. So I'm from Brooklyn. I'm straight Brooklyn, New York City, native New Yorker, born in Queens, though, but Brooklyn all day, every day. That's how it goes.
The show. Well, after high school, you started your solo career, and you got signed with Profile in '85, right? And that led to that smash album, Dane with Fame, in 1987. That went gold, right?
Yeah. Dane with Fame. Nightmares was the first single. I followed that up with the second single, Delancey Street, and in 1987, it was the album led by the single Cinderfella, Dane with Fame and Cinderfella. So that was the progression. But Rick had, we went to college. Well, we were supposed to go to college together right after we graduated in '83. And I went to Bronx Community College, but he never showed up because, as I found out, he was already making records with Dougie Fresh. So they dropped Lottie Dottie as a cassette tape or a mixtape thing, and it was, being circulated. And then they did the single for sale, the show with Lottie Dottie being the B-side, and they took off, and I was like, wow, that's hot, And I remember when Rick brought Dougie Fresh down to Fort Greene, Brooklyn, and he introduced me to him, I was like, man, that's it, y'all should put me on. And they was like, yeah, let me hear what you got. And I kicked them the verses of the Nightmares, and they was like, yeah, that's kind of hot, man. And, they was talking about it, but you know how it was. Rap was real young, and giving the cats opportunities wasn't the greatest possibility at the time because they were just getting on. And it just so happened that another classmate from music and art, his father was a jazz musician who had some, his name was Sam Jacobs Jr. His father, Sam Jacobs Sr., was a jazz musician who had some connection in the music business. And they recorded my song Nightmares and sent it out to a number of record labels, and Profile picked me up and gave me my opportunity to, do my own single single jammy. So that was the hotness right there.
True that. So Cinderfella, that actually got to like number 11 on the Billboard magazine R&B charts. What was that like? I mean, it was your first album, right? What was that like being on the charts? Like Bobby Brown, Janet Jackson, Luther Vandross, Michael Jackson, Prince, people like that.
Yeah, you know, it was incredible, man. You know, I didn't think too much about the charts. I saw it and I liked it a lot. But you know, the album actually, Dane with Fame, actually went to number 2 on the R&B Billboard charts. And if it wasn't for Michael Jackson Dangerous album, I could have made number 1. But no one knocks Michael Jackson out the way. So I was never gonna get one, Mums and Wyatt. Never gonna get one. Long as Michael Jackson was there. So he
prevented a lot of people from getting number 1. So
yeah. But if you're gonna lose to someone, why not Michael Jackson, right?
Why not lose to Michael Jackson? Yeah, you know, why not lose to Michael? Yeah, if you're gonna lose to somebody like that.
That's right, lose to the great. That's like losing to Michael Jordan. If you're gonna lose to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. So that's not really a loss. That's actually like an applauded loss. It's like I applaud you.
Actually, you know, and UTFO went to the same thing because they was on the charts at the same time I was, and they made it to number 2. They actually knocked me out after I was in there in the number 2 spot for about 6 or 7 weeks, maybe even 8. And then they came up there, and all they made it to was number 2 as well, because Mike was up there for like 33 weeks. No one was seeing number 1 for a long time.
Yeah,
that's how it went.
That's usually a Michael Jackson thing when he comes out. That's usually
absolutely.
So you had 2 other albums come out in the 90s, Dane Forever and Rollin' with Dane, and those went gold too, didn't they?
No, actually they didn't. It was Dane Forever, still on Profile Records, and I sold about maybe 150, 200,000 copies of that album. And then, me and Profile parted ways. Took us a little while, and I actually signed to Rap-A-Lot Records. Jane Prince in Houston, Ghetto Boys, Fame, and all that. But never really released any music from them. I was out there, trying to record. My mind wasn't straight at that time when it came to recording because I was still trying to, being on top of the world and then falling off and not really having, the music changing and, the fame and then not having the money that you used to, going from nothing to something, then almost back to nothing, but still having a fame was a crazy thing to deal with at that time. So my mind wasn't right to really create another album with Rap-A-Lot Records, even though they gave me an opportunity to get my mind right, just being in Houston and being away from, the limelight and things of that sort. But then I moved to California, where I hooked up with Harry O and his wife, Lydia Harris, and they had Lifestyle Records. From what I understand and from all accounts, they were the ones who helped bring Death Row Records to light. Well, they actually gave me an opportunity to work with the producer out there named Battle Cat, who's a great producer, produced with Snoop Dogg and a whole bunch of other cats on the West Coast. And he produced my third album, which was Rolling with Dane, which sold about 200,000 as well under Maverick Warner Brothers, which is Madonna's record label. I don't know if she still owns that record label. So that was a good opportunity. That was in 1995. And basically that was the last album that I released under a major record label. Well, Profile wasn't even a major record label because they were independent, but Maverick Warner Brothers was a major record label. So that was the last project that I had an opportunity to put out. After that, I put out an album called Dane and the Great Unknowns in 2005, 10 years later, under my own record label, Deaf Beat Entertainment, which I have right now still.
Are you thinking about putting anything out anytime soon?
Well, right now, with the help of Affluent Records, Deaf Beat Entertainment is working on putting out Young Dane. Young Dane, you in the building?
Yeah, I'm here.
He is all hype, my son. And Young Dane is my son, and we're working on with Affluent Records, Oscar Sanchez, and we're putting out the single right now, getting geared up for the single. We'll be playing for the listeners, Seeing Sideways. And Dane, tell them about the single, man. You know how you came up with it. What's behind that?
Basically, my father hooked me up with Oscar Sanchez from Affluent Records, and they sent me some beats, and I picked this beat that I really liked. And most of my music comes off kind of as a conscious rapper, even though I don't want to put myself in that category or any category for that matter. but it came off as a conscious song about the world and whatnot. And the whole concept is seeing sideways, meaning when you look at the world, everything seems backwards. You know, from police to government to how they go about things, everything is sideways. So it's really about changing that and bringing it to everybody's eyes so they can see that you're not really seeing straight right now. You know what I'm saying? You have to change how you look at things, and the government has to work together. The people have to work together. It's everybody together. You can't blame it on one person, really. You can't blame it on just the government. It's us, too. And everybody has to work together to create something better, basically.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice concept.
So how old are you, young Dane?
Yeah.
I just turned 21 last week.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, how old am I?
Yeah, how old is Dane now? That's the question.
No one knows. No one knows.
A lot of people, a lot of people out there, a lot of listeners, they be like, Dane, like, who is that? But if you might not know, he was in Brown Sugar, I believe that movie, the hip hop movie Brown Sugar.
Yeah,
right. A little part in there. Yeah,
he was Rick and Dougie Fresh in the opening.
They had that scene right there. Yep, he was in Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
You ever think about doing a reality show, Dane to Dane, with Young Dane to promote these records?
Yeah, you know, Dane is camera ready already. Young Dane is camera ready already because he's created a lot of footage on his YouTube page, Dane 30th, right? Is that Dane 30th?
Yeah, Dane 30th.
Yeah, he created a lot of footage where he's doing little skits and things of that sort, as well as he's editing up, just still photos and a whole bunch of things. Me, I'm not so much TV ready, but that was something that I thought about, thought about talking to Dane about, but he lives in Connecticut, I live upstate, and we could really get together and do some things and see how it is. Because I do have access to people with cameras, and just to go out and shoot some things and see how they do it. It might be an opportunity there,
Right.
We are kind of hilarious when we get together. We are kind of hilarious when we get together, so that could be fun. Maybe I'll go to his job and work and help him out. What do you think about that, Dane? I can help you over there.
I can just hear it coming on, and like Dane.
Yeah.
I can hear that coming on.
What do you think about that, Young Dane? Should we do that?
Yeah, we could do something like that. That would be it would be a comedy, of course.
Yeah, the Dane.
Put Mums on have them edit up the theme song, and I'll take my 10%. We'll go from there. For the idea.
And Mom's right. Let's go. Let's get it in.
Let's do it.
That'll be awesome.
Man. Y'all get the intro song. We good.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. I'm already got it. The ringtone and everything. Dane.
Hey, so Dana, are you still a DJ on Sirius on Backspin by any chance? I know they're always changing the station from there.
Yeah, man. You know how that goes, man. Being on the radio and you guys on the radio, no one really lasts a long time. Only the lucky ones, get to be on there for more than 5 years. I had 6.5 years on Sirius Satellite Radio, so it was a great opportunity. Last time I was on the radio was November 2008, actually. So it's almost been 3 years since I last been on the radio. So I've moved on since then, and I'm really just concentrating right now. Me and Chubb Rock are supposed to be working on a project, but even before that, I'm really just concentrating on Young Dane and making sure that he's business ready when it comes to the music business. It's not so much talent ready because I tell people this and they don't really believe me, and I've told Dane this, I don't know if he believes me either, is that he's extremely more talented than I was when I was 19, 20, and 21. Now, for the simple fact of, I had written some songs and I had concepts, great concepts at that, but Dane raps, he sings, he writes, he produces, and he has over 40 songs. Me, I had about 4 songs, you know what I mean? He got like 40 songs. Right? So he's over the top with it. One thing that I'm trying to just instill in him, and and as a father and as a musician and as an artist, is the business part of it. And I'm trying to get him, revved up for that part. And And what I would try to, reiterate is that no matter how talented you are, you really need to know the business and what the business means about being on time and deadlines and things of that sort. And at times I think he hears me, and other times I think is that, I'm his father, and, he's the son, and I've been through it because my mom used to tell me a whole bunch of things. And who listens when you're young, right? Nobody, right?
Right.
But, then when I say that, on the same note, I listen to his music and some of the lyrics he has, or a lot of the lyrics, it shows that he does listen, and you can hear it in just, how he conveys and what his mind frame is, and, what he wants to do and what his ambitions are through his music, because he says a lot of who he is in his music. So that's a great thing. Am I right with that one, Young Dane?
Yeah.
yeah. But,
Father knows best, right?
Well,
you still got
Does father know best, Dane? Does father know best?
Some stuff, yeah, of course.
Like I told you, Mums, what we gonna do,